Yeah, guys, I'm sorry we were a little late to getting to the start of this. We're about 2 minutes late, but we have a very special guest today. We want to thank you for coming out with us. We can't wait to learn a little bit more about you. How are you, Marguerite? Introduce
I
yourself.
am
Let them
great.
know.
Hi, I am Marguerite. Yes, Spagnuolo. I'm from Staten Island, New York, and I'm here to talk to Tom because it's fun. And
That's
we're in, the middle of a crisis and can't leave our house. So
This is the
that's
truth.
excuse the COVID hair.
No, you're looking great. Looking great. Definitely not
Thank
COVID
you.
hair. You're done up just
Yes, COVID.
perfectly.
Look how bad.
No,
Oof.
definitely. You're looking good. So now, for the people that don't know you, I gave them a little bit of a
Mhm.
background that you are a big poker player. I've known you from the poker realm for a long, long time. You are
Yes,
also a entrepreneur, and you have
I
your own
am.
business, and I want to hear all about
Yes.
that. And you are also just started up something that I think is amazing. Tell them a little bit about this group and the positive thought process. I think that's that. When I saw that, I was like, I have to talk to you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
The
it.
good news, Staten Island. Yeah,
Good
we start.
news,
I
Staten
actually
Island.
filmed that a while before this COVID-19 even started to come out. It was a while back, but it finally got edited and brought out now. But only because you see so many negative things about Staten Island and how it's constantly in the news with bad news, like drugs and crime, and it's just gotten such a terrible reputation that growing up on Staten Island, it was fabulous. It was the best place ever. I had the greatest childhood ever. It's completely different from then, obviously, with technology even taking over. But I feel like the good and positive things that Staten Islanders do, obviously it's not as attractive as the bad news. Everyone wants to see the train wrecks and the car wrecks and the fighting and the screaming. But for me, I think it's sad that that's how you have to become known as, like trash, white trash. It's scary. So I'm trying to bring the positive back. And since it's such a social media world, if the kids do see something on social media that is positive, maybe that will catch on and make them want to do something positive. It's frustrating to see all the negative and bashing when I know that Staten Island was a great place.
I
Sad.
agree. I agree. I think there's a lot of negativity happening everywhere, not just on social media, but people focus
True.
on a little bit more of negativeness than they do on the positive. And I almost feel like I want to create a more positive mindset for everybody around me and everybody around
Correct.
me. You
That's
know?
how I feel. Because it's
Yeah,
contagious, right? You want that.
absolutely.
But
I
even
have
like,
a. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, shoot.
I'm saying, even like playing poker, someone will say, "Where are you from?" And I say, "New York." And they say, "Oh, what part?" "Manhattan." And I go, 20 minutes away. "Oh, Brooklyn?" "No, no." And then it's they go, "Oh, Staten Island." They go, "Oh, Staten Island. Are you a mob wife?" I'm like, that's where your mind went as soon as you heard Staten Island,
Yeah,
and that's so sad.
that is a sad thing. I agree with you
you
on that.
know,
I
what they
had
see on reality TV is what they think we are.
Yeah, I had two storefronts at one point. One in Staten Island, which I live on Staten Island. I am a Staten Islander, and one in Red Bank,
Right.
New Jersey. So the same companies from Manhattan that would react like, "Oh, you're from Staten Island." That's the sound you would
Really?
get from
Isn't that
them.
crazy?
Yeah, and then when you
Like
say
you know
Red Bank, New
nothing.
Jersey, they're like, "Oh, our CEO lives right over there." So like Red Bank, New Jersey, I'm like, I am 45 minutes closer to you with this store, but it was still less attractive to a Manhattan client or to a corporate client, which was rough. So we have to break
Right.
through and get past that, which is an
Right. That's how
interesting
I
thing.
feel. I mean, obviously, what it's probably going to take is a reality show that shows the positive of Staten Island, but that's never going to happen because people want to watch the disasters of the world.
People, yeah, it is rough. It's rougher to have them focus on the good. All right, so let's go a little bit further back. So now tell me a little bit more about you. From let's start from your poker playing
Okay.
days.
Yeah, well, poker started because, well, I used to play poker at home with my dad all the time. My father, we used to call it 52, five on the board and two in your hand. And it was nickel and dime. We always played it. But I had gone to Vegas with my brother and he's like, "Let's play this tournament. And I'm like, "Tournament? I don't know how to play Hold'em." He goes, "Yes, you do. It's 52." I'm like, "That's 52?" Who knew? So we were playing, and then I think they paid top 12 and I came in 13th. First time ever, and I was pissed.
Bubble.
So I said, "No, what? This is addicting." So that's what happened. I started to learn how to do it. I took that WPT boot camp. Like, it's a 3 day class, and then I stayed in contact with one of the instructors there. So he must have thought I was
Which
crazy calling.
instructor? Which instructor?
It was Nick Brancato at the time,
Okay.
and I called him. He must have thought I was crazy because every question and everything. He was very patient. I have to say, he was cut out for that job. But that's how I learned. And then the more you play, the more you learn. I started dealing for, like, the charity events. for it's on Staten Island, the club there. Adam's
Gowanus?
part of it, not the Gowanus,
The Rotary?
the Rotary Club. So I
There
started
we go.
dealing for them with the fundraisers, and then it just got addicting. And now I'm like, wait a minute, look at these guys playing this game. I have to get in this game. So I
Yeah.
started playing instead of dealing, and that's what happened. And then it just boomed from there.
Yeah.
I took
And
an interest, and that was it. Yeah.
I follow you through all your journeys. You're in playing the Borgata,
Do
you're
you?
playing in Vegas. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I traveled a lot, which was pretty cool. But then I came across the idea with the grandma dolls, and I thought this would be great. So I took some of my poker winnings, because I won 3 women's championship titles. I took the money.
Tell them about that. How much did you hit
Yeah.
on those? Come on, people
Girl, it was a
are
long time
interested.
ago. It was a while ago. The most disappointing one was my second place finish at the PCA, the women's event. Disgusting. I flopped a set of 4s and she rivered a flush, but it was disgusting. But that was only like a $6,000 difference. It was 22,000 for first place or something. So I wasn't that pissed, but I was more pissed about not winning it. You know, it was frustrating. But so I took the money that I won and I put it into the Grandma Dolls Company. So I said, let me start the doll company. And in my opinion, it's a
give
great
people a little
idea.
bit of background on this too. I feel like your whole story is super interesting, by the way. Like
thank you.
you're flying through it because not everybody knows it. I know a lot more than most, but don't forget, everybody out there doesn't know it.
I know, I forget. I feel like, if people don't want to really care. They don't really want to, I don't know.
No, they absolutely do. People are checking in. Everybody's saying hi. Jose
hi, guys.
Brenzano said, how are you, girl?
Good thing I
Lisa
wore my
Pickles
pajamas.
said, so excited for this. Christine Gentile said, you're looking great. See? Nobody thinks you have COVID hair. You're looking great.
Thank you, Ina. Yeah, Michael. If my friend Michael's watching right now, he's going, oh, my God. But hopefully he's not on. I started a company called Grandmas to Share, and it was based on my 2 grandmothers. Growing up, I had the best grandmothers, and my daughter never got to meet them because they died before she was born, my son as well. And she was asking me a question, what were your grandmas like? Because she's very close to my mother and my mother-in-law. Did you love your grandmas? Of course, I had the best grandmothers. And she wanted to know what they looked like and what they said and what they dressed like. And so I drew them out like on a paper doll. And I drew them just how they dressed and just what they looked like. And she said, oh, I wish they were really here. And I went, me too. So we searched and searched. There's nothing like it. I wrote a little storybook that comes with the doll to explain to the child who the grandmother is and how you're related. Your grandmother will love you like no other. She is the mom of your dad or your mother. So, it's a little rhyming book.
That's cute. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, just to get them to engage more with their family. Social media, it's taken over. Technology, the kids' faces are buried. They're buried. Nobody's talking. So I thought it would spark conversation about their history, their culture. Where are you from? What traditions can we carry on? Kids don't have that family connection today. And to me, that is a travesty. So that was my goal, is to get a grandma doll in the hands of every child in the world.
Because so you took your poker winnings,
love.
Which is awesome. You took your poker winnings and you start this company.
And then I went well above and beyond that between the business license, the trademark and the patent, and forget it, the lawyer fees. And it's just a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. I thought it was going to be simple. You make a doll, you put it online, you sell it, you're rich. Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
People think that until they start doing it, right?
Yeah, right. The search engine optimization alone is brutal. Like, marketing is the most expensive part of the whole project.
So tell them. A lot of people don't know. Like, I know you do a lot of interaction with the Shark Damon from Shark Tank.
Right. I rented a place in the city called Blueprint and Company, and it was like a co-working space. So you're all really working together, like side by side. They're not cubicles. They're just one big open desk, and then there's all chairs. So if you need help or you need advice, or you need something, you can, everyone's in there that has an expertise in something. I had my whole website designed because I went on the show The Toy Box on ABC.
Okay.
It's like a Shark Tank for kids, where the kids voted on the toy, which was the best toy.
Oh, that's cool. How'd you do on that?
I went to the finals, but I didn't win.
It's okay.
Which
Finals
was a
is
good
still
thing,
good.
because the winner got an exclusive contract with Toys R Us, and then they went out of business. And I was like,
oh, you see that?
Good thing.
Sometimes second place is better. Like, bubbling is better than winning it all.
Exactly. Yeah. So that, it was fun. It was exciting. It was interesting, but it got the ball rolling for me, because I launched in September of 2014, and my dad died Christmas Day.
I'm sorry to hear
that same year. Thank you. And I completely died as well. So all the work that I put into it, and my father calling me every day and let's go. What are you doing? Did you get the patent? Go to Shark Tank. I said, Dad, I'll go to Shark Tank when they come to New York. No, fly to California. You got to go right now. This is the greatest idea ever. He was like the biggest supporter, biggest fan ever. So when he died on Christmas, I just died. So I dropped everything for like 8 months. I did nothing with the dolls. And then the toy box called that they wanted me to go on the show. And I was like, okay, maybe this is a sign from him telling me, get up, get off your ass, get back to work, because he would never want it to die. He would never want that.
Yeah, he wants you to pursue it.
So that's what got me, I guess, back on the high horse. So I guess even though I didn't win, it was a push in the right direction, saying, you know what, this is something people do want. This is something, I got a lot of emails after that they wanted grandmas to look like their grandma, and can you make one with green eyes and make one that's recordable? In the original version, I don't have them, they're not recordable because in my mind, I was making them for kids who don't have a grandmother.
Gotcha.
So who's going to record the voice, you know? So after that, I said, okay, well then we'll make them
smart idea, though.
They don't have a grandmother.
Yeah.
Their mother will make it or something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really
So
smart.
that's what we came out with. So now we have like 5 different versions, and eventually I want to have a doll from every country, so every kid can relate to their own culture, their own heritage, you know?
Yeah, and their own
Because
grandmother.
I went to like a focus group in schools, and 3 kids or 2 kids out of 3 classrooms knew their grandmother's maiden name and where she was from.
That's
They
crazy.
didn't even know where she was from. And I'm like, was she born here? And they would go,
They don't know their story. I know, that's
they
it.
don't. And I just think that's sad. You know, we were close. Family was I think family is a big deal still today. And it's getting lost. It's getting lost with the technology.
Now more than ever, I think there's some good things that could come out of what's going on right now. I know there's a lot of bad happening, and we could see that. Or we could also look at, everybody always said, work is too much. I need more time with my family. I want to be home with my children more. Look at all the positives that this is causing to happen. There are some negatives. Don't get me wrong. We can't ignore what's happening. But if we could be socially responsible, distance ourselves. I mean, my business is weird. Yours might be a little more prolific. Like you could get it out there a little bit more in this time because people are giving a little more attention to things they wouldn't give attention to when they're caught up in their daily, you know?
Right. I agree.
So,
a woman emailed me yesterday from Australia that she wanted a doll. We don't ship international. She's like, please, can you make the exception? I miss my granddaughter so much, and we're FaceTiming, and she misses me terribly, and especially that it's recordable. And I'm like, I will ship it, but it's going to be a fortune. And she's like, I don't care. I just want this doll. And she did. She paid like triple the price of the doll.
So crazy.
To have it shipped to Australia. But I mean, I threw in a t-shirt. I gave her 2 extra outfits. I gave her sweaters. I gave her toys for the little girl. I feel terrible.
But it's so great that you're making a positive impact.
Yeah,
you're leaving a positive impact on people and families.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm hoping. We donated $100 to Columbia University for the Children's Pediatric Center. It's called Hope and Heroes for Children's Pediatric. And the director said that the kids, when they get their treatments, are hugging and holding the doll.
That's great.
For nurturing. And I'm like, that breaks my heart, but I'm happy that they love it and they want it. And that's what it was supposed to be for. It was a nurturing doll. It's not a toy. It's not Barbie. It's your grandma, you know, it's that unconditional, comforting love you get from your grandmother. And that's what I want people to see it as, you know.
Yeah,
oh, it's
absolutely.
creepy. Oh, it's ugly. It's your grandmother. You know, how much can you make it?
Yeah, you can't make it like a cutesy, like, yeah. No, I get that.
I mean, she's cute. I mean, I have one here. She's cute.
Bring her out.
She's cute. I don't know what you can say.
She is cute. No, we got her. We got her.
You know, now she's cute. You know, we revamped her to make her more look, you know, but it's tough to make her look grandma-y and be cute.
And be cute at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you make her too cute, she doesn't look like a grandmother. She just looks like a doll.
I love the recording. So now you could put a recording into it, and you give a book with a story, with their story that they could customize. That's great.
No. This book is written. It comes as is. It just explains to them how you related and why you should love your grandmother and how, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. And then the recording in the doll they can customize and build out to be exactly what you would want it to be.
Right. In the back, they open up the doll and they can make a recording inside, and once it's recorded, they just press the hand and they repeat the message back, and they could change it or save it forever or whatever.
I think that's a great thing. I think that's something that people should try and do well ahead of, God forbid, thinking anything's going to happen to them, because I think that's a great way to pass it down.
Exactly.
Right?
Then you have her voice forever.
I feel like that's a good present to a new grandma, or to show them that they're going to be a new grandma.
Right. That's what we had. My niece told her mother she was pregnant by giving her the grandma doll. You know, why
I think that's fun. I'm going to keep you in mind for when it finally happens with me. If it finally happens with me, I don't push nothing. I think that's the good move.
She'll be like, why are you giving me this stuff? Oh, and it hits them a second later. It's awesome.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
then
like
when
super fun.
when the baby's born, she records her message, and gives it back to the baby. So it's good for baby showers, nursing homes, kids, older women that can't get out of the nursing home, but they want to send a gift to their grandkids,
I think this is
stuff
a
like that.
great gift to give right now too, especially because not everybody's able to see their grandmother. If their grandmother is in a nursing home right now or something of that nature, this would be a
Yep, I
fun way
agree.
to convey, I miss you. Don't forget about me. I'm thinking about you. You don't
I
necessarily
agree.
have to be passing away. I think you could just be something to pass along, which I love. I love
Right,
that. I love your
right.
whole story. I think you do have a really positive story. So now let's touch base a little bit on the positive Staten Island thing because I was actually just having
Mhm.
this conversation. My friend is doing a Anthony Rapicciolo. I want to give him a shout. It's called COVID Talks. If you could,
Now COVID talks.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
all
feel
about.
like everyone's just tired of the negatives, so I'm hoping to bring some good things.
See, that's his tagline. It's positive stories coming from this situation. So I'm going to get you on
Right,
that show too. I feel like that's a
right.
perfect place for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
should be
because I
called
feel
silver linings of COVID.
that you know what me and him were just having this conversation
Yeah.
before I started all these casts, and because he just got off his, so we touched base real fast. That me and him are both very busy entities. So I am slower, not slower. I am adapting to my new normal. So I am a different person because all of my regular nonstop go 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 from the minute I open my eyes to like fall asleep isn't happening. So
Right,
now I'm just trying to adapt. So he's
right,
of course doing the same thing. I think he's busier than he ever is because everybody's adapting to this. So he's got a way to help businesses get through it. So we just touched base for the first time since all of this went down, right? And
ah,
I was like, I was like, by it being called COVID Talks, it is a negative implication to me right away. But it's not. Like his whole
right,
idea is putting the positive, like focusing on any of the positive news that can come from this. You
right.
know?
But when you hear that, you think you're going to talk about COVID.
I know. And I am very like I'm
You know?
anti-politic like and I'm not
Yeah.
anti-politics, religion and that talk. I just think it's very divisive and I think this is more of the time
Right.
for unity. You know, so
I
it's all
agree.
about us coming together and finding all of the silver linings in everything that's going on right now. And I think there's a lot of that. I
Right.
really do. I think there's a
That's why
lot
I
of
would
it.
have said, yeah, I would have said COVID silver linings.
Yeah, that's what it is. But his is
Yeah.
COVID talks, positive occurrences. I'm gonna if he's out
Right.
there, I think he probably is out there somewhere. If he could write that down in our stream, I would love to get that in there so people could see it. And
Right. No, it's to watch. Yeah.
yeah, so
I
now
want
that
people to say like, "Oh, you're from Staten Island. Oh, isn't that where the girl from American Idol is from?" Or,
yeah, there's a
something
lot
where
of
it's
good things that come from it. I agree.
right. And
He's
they don't
he's
get the
one of those good
recognition.
people.
It's terrible.
Yeah, he's one of those good people. He is absolutely one of the nicest guys I've met, and then he is very like a force forward for all positive things that are going on around him. So I feel like
Right.
you're very similar, and I want to kind of concentrate on that outside of. I mean, every the people on this cast, most of them will know me. I'm more about like gambling, good times. I live my life as just finding a way to have a good time and then make money at
That's
it,
right.
right?
And
Yeah.
100% I agree. That's the way everybody should live their life.
Yeah, because what else is it about? Because now that we're locked in the
Hmm.
house, I'm like, this gives me a chance to spend more time with my wife. It gives me a chance to be around a little more, and I get to
Right.
work from my. This is like a makeshift studio in my living room. I just pulled it out of my
Hey,
office
it
and brought it in
works.
here.
It works.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
It
make it
works.
happen. But
Yeah.
your story, super interesting. So now I know I have a lot of poker players that are watching this too, because you're a player profile. Tell us a little more
Ah.
of your poker life too.
My poker life. It slowed down a lot because of the business. Playing tournaments is 2, 3 to 4 days at a time. Can't do
Yeah,
that when you're trying to run a business. I mean, I run the business by myself, boxing, billing, shipping, inventory, creating. I mean, everything from soup to nuts is done by me. But
really, you
thankfully
do it
I have a
all in
lot of
house.
help from my friends. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that help me because I couldn't do it without them. Who my friend helps me with the technology, who helps me with the boxing when I have a big order coming in. Everybody crowds in my basement and everybody's boxing with me. Thank God for my friends too, because I mean, my whole family lives in Florida. So my friends have become my family, you know.
Gotcha.
But it's taken a back seat from that, because of the business, And I said it right about now. I was thinking about it, all the poker players who are dying in their house right now, going, "Why didn't I pick up a hobby? What am I
Right?
supposed to?" They didn't
Itching.
plan for this to ever be locked in their house. Like, damn, why didn't I pick up sewing or something,
I know.
cooking? Because now they're like twiddling their thumbs if you don't play online.
But now, are
But
you an
I
online
feel
player?
like that.
Do you like to play online?
No.
Me either.
No, well, we're in New York, so we can't. And those stupid little sites, I hear so many bad stories. I'm like,
Hmm.
I can't get involved.
Not even
I'll
that.
break all my computers. It's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, I feel like poker is a social thing to me. Like I enjoy
I
meeting
agree.
the people, talking to people. Like we have a lot of similar friends throughout the poker realm. Like you remember Old Man Mike?
Sure. He was the best. He lived down the block from me. We used to go to lunch all the time.
Yeah, loved him. But he had so
He
many
was the best.
stories, always had like,
Yep.
always was smiling and positive. And
Oh,
I
the
feel like
best.
that's what poker means to me. Like, it's like hearing
Right. I
everybody's
wish
stories,
everybody
what they're
was
going
like
through.
that, but you know, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. It's
Now you hear
crazy.
so many negative things, right? Poker players are liars, schemers, scammers. It's just depressing.
It's what people choose to
Sucks.
focus on, I feel like a lot, right?
They
Like people,
love the bad news. They
pe-
love the train wrecks.
they do. People
They love
love
it.
bad news.
I know.
Or
It's
they
terrible. And I don't understand that. It's like you're a masochist. Why do you want to read that stuff? Look at the good. Look at all the fun stuff that's out there. Even
I,
funny stuff. You know, Impractical Jokers. They're hilarious.
they are
They should be
hilarious.
like
They're a great
boom to
piece of Staten
stardom.
Island.
Of
Agreed.
course. They're hysterical. I watched
Agreed.
that movie. I wanted to turn around and go right back in and watch it again. It was fantastic.
I agree.
Hysterical.
There's a lot of
Right?
positive, good things that come off of this island. We just don't.
Yes.
We don't want to look. We don't want to stare at it. We want to go past that to say, "Oh, look out for the speed cameras." And I'm like, "Oh, all right, it happens.
I know.
Get
I
past it.
know.
We'll move
I
forward."
know. You're
But
right.
I know it's a crazy
Yeah.
thing. But people like
It
you
is.
are some of the people that help move it forward. Do you have any grandkids yet or no?
Not yet. No, my son's 21 and my daughter is going to be 17. So
Oh, okay.
hopefully we
You
got a
got time.
long way to go.
You got time.
Yeah.
You got time. Because I was gonna.
Thank
The only
God.
reason I
I
asked
got
that
plenty of time. I'm very willing to wait. I'm good.
I didn't think you were a grandmother yet, but if you were, I wanted to know if you had made one or given one of the dolls because I feel like that's such a
No,
good
no.
gift. It's such a good gift.
You know what I gave? I gave Daniel Arano one because I won a contest. You had to send in a picture
Okay.
of you playing poker, and I had a tendency to make stupid faces when I play poker, like, you know, when the photographers come over. So there is one that's absurd. My cards are stuck to my forehead. And I submitted that one, and Daniel Negreanu picked it. He's like, just the sheer absurdity of this picture makes you, you know, want to win.
Oh,
So I'm
that's
like, okay,
great.
great. So he picked me, and they sent me to Vegas for 3 days. They gave me all expenses paid, and then a private lesson with Daniel in Ivy's room. I think I sent you that picture. And
Yeah, that's a great
private
picture. That's the
lesson
promo picture.
with him. Oh, is it?
Yeah. I thought that was a great
And,
picture.
yeah, we have a ton of them. So we had the private lesson, and then we went to dinner afterwards, which was really cool. So I made him a doll because I know he lost his mother and he was very close to her. So I made him a doll with a dress that had all cards on it, like different playing cards. And his 10-7 was in her hand, mini set of cards in her hand. And she used to pack him lunch. So I made a little mini lunch bag.
He was super
Daniel's
close to her
lunch.
too, right? Very, very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, he loved it. He said, it's going in my room and nobody's ever going to touch this doll. It was so nice.
That's
He
great.
loved it. Yeah, because it's people that it's sentimental to them. You know, he didn't look at it and say, oh, wow, this doesn't look anything like my mother. That's not what it is supposed to do. It's a representation of your grandmother, you know?
Absolutely.
So I think he felt like when he has kids, or if he has kids, he has something to, you know, talk to his kids about. Like, look, this was your grandmother and she always made me lunch. This is what she did. You know, you'll have something to connect with your kids about, you know,
Yeah.
teach them their heritage and their traditions.
Do you have an idea
But he
about
always
a
talks
grandpa
about it.
doll coming out, or is it strictly grandma's?
Yeah, well, I said that after my father died. I'm like, all right, now we have to do a pop doll.
That's what I was gonna say because I feel like I was very close to my grandfather. I'm his namesake, and then I feel
Yeah.
like I would totally be into that. Even now, I
Sure.
almost want to be like I have my wife. Her grandmother is still around. I'm like, I got to get her this doll so she could record
Right.
something, so she's always with
Yeah,
me.
a friend of mine her mother has dementia, so she wants to record her voice and give it to her mother so that she could keep hearing her voice over and over and she won't forget her. And I'm like, that's perfect. I didn't even think of that, but yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what
she
it's
could keep
all
playing
about.
the voice. She'll keep hearing her daughter's voice. Maybe she won't, you know, forget her.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I gotta link you up with a whole bunch of people. I feel like this is the best
Awesome.
time for us all to come together and like help each other out
I
and
agree.
like help people
agree.
see everything that's going on. You know,
I agree.
What?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Be
Tell us a
great.
little bit more about what you've been doing with all this social distancing. When did you lock down and go inside? Are you?
Yeah, it's been, what is today? Friday. So Sunday will be 2 weeks. And
Okay.
it's for me, like, it's absolute torture. If anyone knows me, they know it's torture because I am never home.
Yeah. So
My mother called me from Florida and she's like, tell your husband to tie you up in a chair. You cannot go out. You stay home. I know, Mom, but there's nowhere to go anyway. Don't worry. I'm home. I'm good.
you know what I
Um,
find's funny? I feel like it's almost like the reverse right now, where I'm telling my parents, just stay in the house. You could go
Yes,
out
that's
later,
true. That's
right?
true. You become the parent. It's so true.
It's so
So I'm
crazy.
lucky she can't go anywhere. She's stuck in the house. She can't leave. I'm not worried. She's staying, and she's afraid she won't do it anyway. So I don't have to worry about that.
There was a lot of blowback in the beginning. I feel like in the very beginning, it was very, oh, I've been around for 60+ years. I will be fine. And then it started
Because
to
it's
sink
hard
in.
to believe. That's why.
Yeah. And but
You
it's
know,
cyclical. Like this happens every 100 years or so, and we're very
that's what they
lucky.
say, but who knew that? I mean, we thought those days are in the past with everything we have today, medicine and technology. Who ever thought that this would come to this? Never in a million years did I ever think we would be on a lockdown because of a disease. Never. I would
Yeah.
never, ever, ever, ever have thought this.
But we're
Never.
blessed, right? At least we got the information before. And I know everybody's responding to it. There's nothing to make light of it, but we're seeing it before it got as bad as it could get. Whereas if information travels strictly newspaper, who knows
I
how long this
think.
takes, right?
Well, that's true, but we don't know how long actually it's really been there. I was at the
I don't
Borgata
know
in
either.
January, and I was there for 3 days. I came home February 1st, and I was deathly sick. I had to go to the hospital. I went to my doctor, and she said, I can't let you leave here. Your blood pressure is dangerously low. She put me in an ambulance. I had to go to the hospital. I said, I don't know what this is. I never had this in my life. I don't know what I have. They said, have you traveled out of the country? And this is February 1st. I
Yeah.
said, no. I said, but they had said, you haven't been to China, have you? Laughing. And I'm like, no, but you know what? It was Chinese New Year at the Borgata. And I was there for 3 days. I don't know. And as soon as they heard that, they wheeled me to the back of the hospital. They put me in a quarantine room in the corner, locked the door, had my own bathroom, everything. They weren't going to let me out. They did chest x-rays. They did the test with the Q-tip to the back of my head. They tested me for everything. And they came back and said, congratulations, you have the flu. They said, tested positive for influenza. So I'm like,
Wow.
okay. But I never felt like that in my life. I had the dry cough, the fever. I was sick. And then I said, you know what? They didn't have the test for COVID-19. They don't know if I had it or not. They didn't have a kit to test that. They
Yeah.
tested
Agreed.
positive for the flu, but did they really know what they were looking for at the
I'm
time?
looking
I
forward to
swear
the
that's what I
antibody
had.
test where we could see. Well,
Me
hopefully they
too.
have like a rapid response antibody. Because if you have it, you're like, oh wow, I didn't even
Right.
know I had it. I mean,
Right.
I've seen some very blessed cases. I have a gentleman that plays in my poker league that actually contracted it. We think it might have happened when he was in the Borgata playing in a tournament with us, because a player from
Yep.
another league just happened to have confirmed positive case. He became a confirmed positive case 14 days after that. So when we first shut down, this was crazy. With my business, I was very like, me and my brother weren't like, are we going to shut down? We're like, when are we going to shut down? So we were the first poker league to shut down in the tri-state area. And other poker leagues were like,
Wow.
no,
Because
you
you
should.
knew ahead of time.
You know
There's
what?
still people that are still playing in underground games.
That's crazy to me. Is that not crazy to
They're
you?
playing in Brooklyn. Yes. They're crazy.
So crazy. I know. I see that all the time. People like inviting other
They make
people to
me drink,
games.
see?
I know, me too. I am right with you. Vodka Club. I've been drinking for the past hour and
Yeah.
something. But I was like, when we shut, I was like, you know what? This is just the better move for now. We'll all get back to it.
Sure.
I do believe we'll get back to it. We're all going to be playing again.
Oh, of course. I believe that too.
Yeah, it's
I
going to
believe
go
that
back
too.
to a normal at some point. But
Yeah.
when
The shocking, most depressing thing for me ever was seeing that the Bellagio went dark.
yeah,
Closed is
Bellagio,
one thing, but
Borgata,
boarded up and the building is dark. That's so sad.
it's
It's
crazy.
like, how eerie is this? Ugh.
Crazy to see every
Freaked me
casino
out.
closed down and everything else. You know what's funny? The gentleman that tested positive, I'm very cool with. I'm very close to him. I had a cast with him from his hospital bed when he first went in, and thank God, knock on wood, he's doing really good
He's
right
fine.
now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean he's maintaining, his temperature hasn't spiked. They released him to home self quarantine. He's on the mend and he's getting better and coming back. But he was telling me when I said, guys, do you think we should shut down for a little while? He's like, no, one more game. He's like, thank God you didn't do that one more game, because I would have gone to it and infected.
He would have infected everyone.
Yeah, and he was like, now I'm the first person to say, no, wait till it's safe. He's like, but before he didn't believe it when it was going on.
No, because it's hard to believe. I don't blame those people. It's hard to fathom that
Yeah.
it could actually get to this. It's really hard. So you tell yourself, oh, this isn't real. This is the flu. This is no big deal. Then as you hear more and more cases, and a lot of my friends are in the hospital, I'm like,
I know.
this is torture. It's terrible.
What's the best thing to come out of it so far for you? Now, that's the type of thing I wanted to concentrate on. Like, what good has come out of it since you've been in your lockdown?
For me, having my kids home, my son came home from college and he's going to finish the year out at home. And my daughter's home with me every day and she's learning different things. If you notice on Facebook, all the stuff I'm making, and she is like looking around. What are you making? I'll help you. What are we doing? It is. You are spending more time together. And there she is. She's checking out what I'm doing. Hi, Mama.
There you go. Bring her on. Bring her on. Tell her to say hello.
Yeah. Come here. Show Tom your face right now. She has the charcoal mask all over her face.
There's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to do that. We're in quarantine.
That's the point. It's COVID mask. Come show
it. Come on over. Don't be shy.
Yeah, do it. COVID mask. Show him the oh my God, look at your face. I'm dead right now. Okay. No, come on. It's so fun.
Come on, real quick. We're waiting for you. There she is. Perfect. Hey, how are you? How's everything going?
I'm good. How are you?
That's Tom.
Good. Pleasure. Everybody's saying hi. So tell us the best thing that's happened to you so far since being quarantined at home a little bit more.
I found this new website where I can watch any movie, even new ones that came out, and I love it.
Technology.
What's the website? Go ahead. You can promote it. I'll let you plug it real fast.
I
have no idea.
That's even better.
I actually saw TikTok that I was watching and I used it.
And she just clicked the link. There you go.
Right, and then TikTok took you straight there. Look at that.
Yeah, she knows every TikTok dance, all the TikTok tricks. Forget it.
We just did one today.
Did you? Together?
Family TikTok.
I love
Drinking from the glass before it can overflow.
I love it. Have you done the video where you all switch clothes?
No.
Oh my God, no, that one's so funny.
You should do that. You should definitely do that.
It's like when you flip the switch, like Drake sings, and then like you change outfits.
Didn't Damiano do that with the baby? It's adorable.
I don't know.
I think I saw that. A friend of mine did it.
Me and Marco should do that. That'd be so funny.
Cute. Yeah.
That would be cute. Include the grandma doll in that, and then make one of you switch into their outfit. I think that would be perfect.
Imagine putting her little dress on. It was hysterical.
Absolutely. Then people are checking in for you a lot. Lisa Pickle is saying, "Yo, Adriana." Hi, Adriana. Michael Ferranti said she finally had to unpack her suitcase. Marguerite, are you friends with?
They know me. I live out of my suitcase. I don't unpack. I wash the clothes. I put them back in the suitcase.
See, we got a lot of questions. Marguerite, are you friends with Doyle? We are praying he pulls through after his corona. Wow, Doyle got corona diagnosed today. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's older, so it's tough.
Oh, that is a tough
I don't know.
one.
I haven't heard anything. No.
He just broke that news to me. I'm actually in a little bit of shock. COVID Talks, my friend Anthony signed in. He said, you can't see Facebook comments. Can you see them on here? Yes, we can, Anthony. Thank you for checking in. We're looking good on the big screen, he's telling you guys.
Right.
Good news, Staten Island is the trends from Michael Ferranti. I'm sorry, I'm just reading off a few of them for you. They are cute. My kids love them. We have the originals. Lucy Abacchio. Yeah, Abacchio. There we go. My eyes.
She has the original. She's right. The original is going to be worth money because we took them off the market.
Really? It got pulled?
Yeah. We got them pulled. Yep.
Hey,
if you have them, you have them. If you don't, you beat.
There you go.
We had a little girl. She had one of the originals. And the felt material, like if you, for a long time, if you keep playing with it, it gets like pilly. The material gets pilly. So she called me up and she said, the voice box broke, but if you can't fix it, I want this doll back. I said, no, I'll give you a whole new doll. She said, no, my daughter has to have this doll back.
It's attached to it. That's
what
happens.
She drops it off at my house. It looked like it went through I said, what happened to this doll? She said she takes it everywhere. And I said, are you sure you don't want a new one? She's like, no. My husband luckily was able to fix the voice box, but the poor doll looked like it got dragged through the mud. But she wanted that doll. She said, no, that's our grandmother. You cannot replace it.
That's what's going to happen.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen with all of those dolls. I love this whole concept. I'm going to have to take two before. It is a great concept.
Getting it out there is another story. I did a trade show in Vegas, and I was walking through the Bellagio. I had like 2 or 3 dolls left. I'm walking through the Bellagio with them on my arms, and people are stopping me. Where did you get that? I have to have that. Is that a grandma doll? Where do you get how do you get that? Where is that? That's sold here. I'm like, so I went right to the gift shop. I'm like, just here, take them, sell them, do what you want with it. Just give me the numbers to manager. I always sell them in here. I'll have the name Bellagio. I'll print it on the dress, anything you want, And I couldn't get in touch with the woman.
It's tough.
I was so pissed. I was like, this is what they need. Every grandmother goes on vacation and brings a souvenir home for their grandkids. They all do it.
Have you found a downtick in business, or do I feel like this is a time for you to have an uptick in that business particularly?
Well, it's not right now because I sold out of these. These guys are sold out. I don't have any more of these left.
Oh,
I think I just found a new box. I have 5 dolls left of these. Sold out completely. So
that's tough. Now you got to wait on another container.
Exactly. And now with China being shut down, it's been taking forever. So I missed the whole holiday season because they sold out in November.
You got to tell everybody on here. if you're out of a job and you want to do something, this is the time to start producing. If somebody's got to sew,
100%.
there's got to be some grandmas out there that
100%.
could sew right now. That could become
It's
part of
true.
grandmas to share.
Exactly. And that's what I said. I wanted to be Joy. Joy eventually had her own manufacturing plant where she did all the overseeing of all the mops that were being made. If I had it here in the US, I can just punch out 1 million of them. But
I agree.
it's too much money. Too much money. I'd have to sell the doll for $200 in New York, in USA to make money.
Right. Hopefully that changes over. I feel like that's going to be a big deal.
I know.
It's going to be a big deal about changing over manufacturing here.
I'm
a service industry guy.
The other countries are willing to work for dirt cheap. Nobody in the US is going to do it. It's never going to happen.
I know, it's so tough. That's what's
Never
so
gonna happen.
tough about this whole equation, right? Don't say never. We're on the positive, Marguerite.
I know.
We're on the
And I'm being
positive.
positive that the factories in China are going to be up and running real quick.
But you
That's
got
my
you got to
positivity.
look at it like this. This might cause a Great Depression, and then if that Great Depression happens, people will work cheap, and then the dolls will get
All
made
right.
here at a good number. See, there's
you
a good
go.
thing
That's
to
true. All
everything.
right. There's a COVID silver lining right there.
There is a COVID silver lining right there.
The Great Depression
Shout
would be
out
a
to
silver
Anthony.
lining for us.
Yeah,
There we
we
go.
could see it. It's all in how you look at it. I said that's a time
It's
of
true.
opportunity.
You're right. I
Yeah.
didn't think of it that way, but you're
When the
right.
the only thing that could happen in a Great Depression to me, if the stock market crashes, I could get into it and finally have something
That's
worth
true.
something.
Oh, that's definitely true. Yeah.
So
that's
worth it.
That's
From an
true.
entrepreneur and
Yeah.
businessman, I'm like, all right, let it fall.
You're right.
Let Rome fall so I can get in on the ground floor of the new room.
It's true. You're right. That's how you think, right? Try to find positive.
It is
You know,
crazy.
it's funny because the manufacturer who made my boxes for the dolls emailed me. He was like, "Is everything okay? I haven't heard from you." I'm like, "Yeah, everything's fine. It's not like I'm not using you again. I just haven't ordered more dolls yet because the factory is shut down that makes them." He's like, "I know this is terrible. Do you need anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, my niece is a nurse in the hospital. She's telling me that they don't have any masks. They're at a loss for the gloves. They're making them wash them and reuse them." So he's like, "Oh, that's terrible. Can I send you anything?" I'm like, "Whatever you have. How much are they?" He's like, No, I'll send them to you for free." I'm like,
Oh,
he's
wow.
sending me 10 of the masks for my niece. They should be here any minute now. He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just, take them." I was like, that's so nice. I'm thinking he's trying to, build his business during this terrible time.
Yeah, maybe people
He's
are just
not.
good. Yeah, they're just good at heart.
That was very nice. I was shocked. He's
I'm
like,
a
"No,
firm
sending it to you.
believer-
Don't worry about it." Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer of people are nice in general.
It's hard to believe, because you know how the world is. But when you get something like that, I'm like, see, there are good people. Yes.
They're everywhere.
That was so nice, and that's something that's going to make me stick with him.
Yeah, but I think just like your point before, like people want to see the bad. Like people will look
Yeah.
past the 99 good people to see the one jerk and then talk about the jerk.
1,000%.
Yeah, and then skip the 99 nice ones, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. There's
And
a
then-
thing that they said. There's a meme, I think it says, people will forget the 100 things that you did that were good, but the one thing you did to them that bothered them, they
Talk
don't
about
to you
forever. Forever they'll remember it. It's so crazy.
forever.
I feel
Yep.
like that I'm too busy for that. Maybe that's me, but the way I react to stuff, I'm always like, I'm too busy to focus on that bad thing. I'm like, I'll just move
100%.
forward and we'll see what comes next.
too.
And
And
there's
if it's
so
going to
much
bring
good.
me down or depress me, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want to be bothered. Nope.
I
No.
agree. I am trying
Not
to
doing it.
avoid any of that negativity. That's what's a little tough about social media. Like I'm trying. It's funny because we're on social media right now, right? So we're streaming on Facebook. We're on
using it for
YouTube.
good. Using it for good. That's different.
I know, but it's funny because when
That's
I go
how I
on,
feel.
I wish there was a filter that I could just click. Like I'm only looking at good things right now. Don't show me anything that's bad.
I know. That's Facebook's next thing. They should have a filter for that.
I know.
I said that I was doing a FaceTime today with one of my friends to show how to make this eggplant that I was making, and I was talking to Lisa, who's on this right now, and she said, "This
Which
is
is
what
great.
you should
That-
absolutely do.
that
You should
eggplant
have
looks
your own
delicious.
show."
That's the
Eggplant
truth.
is amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I said, if I had my own show, it would be X'd out every minute. I'd be cursing up a storm. She's like, "But that's what people want to see." I'm like, "I know, isn't that nuts?"
It is
I'd
nuts.
be cursing like Auntie Fee. Auntie Fee's my favorite ever to go viral. She's my favorite person ever to go viral. Auntie Fee. If you ever watch her videos,
I have seen
you
some of the
will
videos.
not watch those videos and not laugh. I guarantee it. But she
I think that's what it's
curses
about.
Crazy. She's wild. She was in prison for a while, so she came out and she was showing her kids and everybody how to make things from home that would be cheap. You don't have to
Okay.
spend a lot of money. This is how you can, and just she has her son videoing and she calls him names and curses every 2 minutes, but it is hilarious. And she was on Steve Harvey. Steve was like in shock because of her mouth. They bleeped her every minute. I go, that would be me if I had my own cooking show. They'd be bleeping me out every second. It wouldn't work
But
out.
that's what we need. We need a distraction. I feel like the distraction's a good thing right now. You know,
I
usually
agree.
I'm usually super anti like whatever's trending, this and that. I can't deal with reality TV for the most part. But
Ugh,
have you seen the Tiger King?
I did. I did. How do you not? But it's so hard. Again, it's hard to believe people exist in the world like this. And then all I kept saying is, you know what? Drugs are bad, kids.
Drugs are
Drugs
bad.
are bad.
Yeah, drugs are
Because
bad.
everything on that show has to do with somebody being into drugs.
You know,
1,000%.
I've been watching a ton of like for some reason if I get a topic in my head I deep dive on that topic and I start looking into everything for it. David
Me
Spade just
too.
did an interview with the gentleman who was filming the reality TV show of him that was in he was in there. Did you know I think he was from Carol Burnett, like he was in the Carol Burnett show? Did you know that? I
No.
had no idea. I didn't place it either. And
The
then when I was
guy who's
watching
smoking the cigarette and
yes, with
explaining
the
in the
hat.
beginning?
Yes.
Really?
And then I start
But here's
watching
what I get
this.
confused about. They said that he lost all the footage in the fire. So where did he get all that footage?
No, that wasn't his footage. He had nothing to do with that. He
Oh,
is
okay.
he's super shocked that this he was saying he's super shocked that this documentary went on fire so much, like got so hot when he's like you didn't even see all of the stuff that he was filming or knew what
Right.
knew
His
what was
stuff
really
got
going on.
burned. Oh, so this is like a
Yeah.
whole new people coming in. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like another
But I
totally
did
different
hear that.
docuseries.
I heard they're reopening the case against Carol for
My,
killing
my,
her husband.
my wife told me that too. That might be true. I don't know
Yes.
what's true, what's not true, but
I read that, but I'm like, well, that would be like she 100% killed her husband. But why would she agree to the documentary and open a can of worms? Like, why would she do that?
I don't know.
I mean, if you notice, you play poker, so you know. Every time they interviewed her about killing her husband, she chuckled and laughed
Yep.
about every single accusation. Well, it's not really. I couldn't have.
And her eyes are shooting up into the side. Yeah.
She had that nervous laugh. Oh no, she killed her husband. I don't know if she fed him to the tigers, but she definitely killed her husband.
I don't know.
1,000%.
Super crazy. And then
Crazy.
David Spade was doing the interview, and he's like, "How ironic is it that he now has all the fame that he always wanted, but now he's in a 6x3 show or a 6x8 show."
Oh, that's funny. That's
so
funny.
crazy. It's such a
That is crazy. It's
But
the
you know
way of
what?
the world, though.
You couldn't have timed that documentary release any better than to
100%.
Yeah, maybe it was the producers that
People
lined this
are
all
looking
up.
to binge watch something, you know, and then as soon as
Yeah.
one person puts, "Oh my God, have you seen this?" Then it's like, okay, now I have to watch it.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Insane.
crazy. But see, silver linings. You know that guy lives in
Yeah.
Norway? I didn't know that either. I just came back from Norway. I saw the Northern Lights.
What guy?
That producer guy, the guy with the hat that was smoking the cigarette the
Oh,
whole time,
really?
is from Norway.
I didn't know that. Oh,
I know.
wow. I didn't
And
know that.
I had a cast the other day that I was saying when I was in Norway, they were some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life, right? Ever.
Really? I know the pictures were beautiful. So sick.
It was so crazy. But the people as big as I'm 6'4", like now I'm like 235, right? 6'4", 235, big. My wife was sleeping in the car next to me, like on the seat back. Two little old women pulled over because I was pulled over to the side of the road just because we were looking for the lights. And we're like, "Oh, could we help you? Is everything okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." Like
Really? To
everybody
approach you.
to approach
That's
me, who's big. I look like
Yeah.
I'm wearing the car, and everybody stopped and checked to make sure you were okay. It was a very
Really?
friendly comp. Yeah, you know what's
Wow,
sick?
that's great.
When you don't know someplace else, I feel like you don't realize how nice everyone is. But then when you go there yourself, you're like,
Yeah.
For the most part, people are nice. You know, I think that's
Right.
with
Well,
everywhere.
New York is not really, we're from New York. We're not known to be the friendliest people in the world. But I'll tell you what was not so friendly. I went to Montreal for a game show. It was called the IQ Adventure. It was like
Okay.
an Amazing Race kind of. They picked 3 couples and they flew us to Montreal and we had to find these landmarks.
How do you land in these? Because I love this. I love your
I applied to
experiences.
everything. I applied to everything. I was on Let's Ask America game show. I was on, I was on that. I won. I was on the IQ Adventure. I won. So
I love
they
this.
fly us there. I love game shows. I'm a freak. So they fly us to Montreal and everything's in French. So we can't read what we're looking for.
Okay.
So we had to stop people and say, where is this? Where do we find it?
Parlez-vous anglais?
Oh my God. And they would look and they see the video cameras following us. No. And they ran away. They would not help us with one thing.
So
I was
crazy.
like, what the hell? What do they think what are they hiding? What are they so afraid of?
So
Luckily
crazy.
we found what we needed and we won. So it worked out. It was so
Good
cool.
for you. What'd you win on that game show? I'm intrigued.
You win
about this.
They gave us $5,000 to go. It was sponsored by the Board of Tourism for Canada, so they wanted to promote traveling to Canada. So they gave us a $5,000 trip to go back.
Oh, I
So
love
we
it.
went back, and they put us up in like the Queen Elizabeth Hotel. They gave us everything. They took us to a casino that had a private room. They gave us money to gamble. They gave us watches. They gave us
So
5-star
much
restaurants
fun.
every night. It was insane.
How
Yeah,
did
I
you
was able to
like
bring
it?
my babysitter and stay with the kids. It was so fun. Montreal's beautiful.
I love
It was
Montreal.
just super cold, but it was gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Montreal is one of
fun.
my favorite cities. I like Canada a lot too. I like a lot of
Beautiful.
places. Is that one of
Yeah,
your
we have
favorite
family
places
in
you've ever been?
Toronto. Yeah, we have family in Toronto, and they are the nicest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. Like, you wouldn't even believe it. Like, how are they this sweet and nice? They're just patient and kind people. And Montreal was nothing like that. I'm like, wow, that's two separate parts of Canada for
See, you
sure.
got a totally different vibe from Montreal. I've gotten some good
Totally different.
vibes there.
Totally different. Toronto, they're like the nicest people in the world, and then Montreal, they wanted nothing to do with you. I was like, okay,
Really? They were way more
yeah,
standoffish. It could have been the cameras. People are very scared of cameras.
I guess maybe, yeah. They
Super
weren't
weird to
willing
me.
to help at all.
Me and
Nope,
you are both extroverts, so cameras don't bother us.
big time.
Yeah, but when they say most people, the biggest fear that people have is speaking in front of people, and number two is death. So they'd rather die than speak in front of people.
Really? Yeah,
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
To us, it's
But it
crazy.
probably it's I think it's a lot of your upbringing. My father was the loudest, most outspoken person in the world. I think
Yeah.
maybe that's it. I mean, I don't know. I can't explain how it is. I mean, I do believe it's how you brought up, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree
That's
with
just my
that.
belief. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't
If
lie.
you're like
Like,
quiet parents, you're not going to have loud, obnoxious kids.
yeah,
I
but
don't
see,
know. My
I
father
feel
was
like my
obnoxious.
parents were polar, just like me and my wife are pretty polar, right? It's like I'm always like
Right.
in front of a camera, blah, blah, blah. I don't mind talking and seeing, doing whatever I'm doing. I need a crowd to feed
Right.
off of. She is just like my mother, more than happy to be in the bedroom. She said to me this morning, she was like,
Really.
yeah, she was like, everybody else is having such a tough time with this. She's like, I am loving this quarantine. We get to
Oh, there's
stay
a lot of
home.
people who are loving it. I know
Yeah,
that. They're like, oh, good. I finally have an excuse to stay home. They have to tired of making up lies. Now I can actually stay home. Now there are a lot of people
absolutely.
like that. It's not for me. I'm never home. And Michelle wrote that about my luggage because it's true. I live out of my suitcase. I wash clothes. We put them back. We repack. We're gone. My suitcase stays out the entire summer.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, this is torture for me to have to stay home. And I don't know if you can see. I have some projects I'm working on. I make blankets. So now
I love it.
we got some yarn to make some blankets.
There you go, a hobby. You
So
got the
I'll be
extra
busy for a
hobbies.
while.
I love
I
it.
do. I said it. I'm learning how to
I
make new things and, cooking and stuff because I have no choice. Wouldn't be the top of my list, but I have no choice.
Cooking's fun. Cooking's
Baking
fun.
I love. I'll bake you whatever you want. But yeah, the blankets are keeping me busy. They occupy a lot of the time. They take a while to do.
That's what we need. We just need projects and stuff to partake in.
About that topic.
That's
He's
my
GTO
guy.
King.
GTO Joey is my guy. We were just
GTO
talking about
King.
it yesterday.
Obviously, you should apply it to everything, which is why I prefer live poker.
Me too.
Because if you're a math genius, yeah, you could just click buttons all day. But I feel like a lot of poker comes from the psychology of the game, and I don't think you get that unless you're live poker. Online you have betting tells and all that, but the live tells when a woman plays against a man, there's nothing like it.
I agree with
There's
you on
nothing
that.
like it. There's nothing like it. I can't say easy because it's a terrible word to use, but a lot of them are predictable. A lot of them, we know how they're playing and why they're playing it that way. And if you're an astute woman, you're going to pick up on it and you're going to profit from it. So
I do believe
live
females have an
poker is
advantage in live poker.
1,000%, 1,000%. And
They
the
do.
conversation keeps coming up. Actually, we talked about Joey Ingram wants to do a show about it, how why there are so few women in poker. And I disagree with why there's so few women in poker. Women are stuck on the fact that, oh, well, they don't feel welcome, or they get abused at the table, they're intimidated. That's so far from the truth. There's so few women in poker because in their 20s, they're dating. In their 30s, they're getting married and having children and a job, working
Yeah.
on a career. In their 40s, they're PTA moms. They're cooking. They're staying home with their kids. It's a completely different realm for women than for men. I'm not saying men don't take care of their kids. Of course they do. But the PTA is full with of women. It's not, you go to the
Yeah.
PTA women meeting, I'm going to play poker. It doesn't work like that,
Absolutely.
It's just and it's a gentleman's game. It started out as a man's game, and I feel like sometimes we moved in on the man's game, you know, and they come out, they want to hang out with the guys, they go play poker. Now there's a woman there and you can't curse and you can't be rude or you can't be yourself because there's a woman at the table.
It
And
changes
that's
the
frustrating for a lot of
dynamic.
guys. Of course. And
Absolutely.
guys don't like that. They wanted, it was a guy's game. I get it. But unfortunately, yeah, women are allowed to play and we're going to play. And a lot of guys, like if they say a curse and they're like, oh, excuse me. I go, no, say fuck. You can say fuck. I don't mind it, but there are women who do. I'm not easily offended. If you know me.
But that's why you're so good at being part of the game. Yeah. You are like one of the guys
you're
at
not
the
gonna
table.
intimidate me. It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the women who feel intimidated because it is terrible. They shouldn't have to tolerate any bullshit at the table. But in my mind, I say, don't tolerate it. Don't
you could say
stand
something.
for it.
Absolutely.
If a guy puts you in an uncomfortable position, stop it. Speak up and say, listen, jerk off or whatever you need to say.
The majority of women in poker. The
Don't
majority
look
of
for your
women in
friends
poker,
to
I think.
back you. I mean, I don't know. It's stand up for yourself.
Yeah, it's the women like you that have like a big personality that are able to easily put themselves into the seat at a poker game. Whereas some of them, I think people are just more apprehensive about jumping into something that they're unaware of. As a guy,
But if they do enjoy the game, they shouldn't let that stop them.
I know, and I think it's a big deal to have more female players. With our poker league, we have a very big contingent of female players, but I don't believe our poker league is based more on poker. It's more socialization and drinking and hanging out,
right?
And then it's a
fun night
sidebar
out.
of poker. Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
it's not built to be strictly poker. But in a poker room, it does change. Like I do get that. Like I feel like there is a different vibe in the room. People try to, but I mean that happens in a lot of different venues in life, in business and everything else. There's a lot of male ego and dominance, and it's like alpha-ish.
Which was my point. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not just at the poker table. You're going to encounter this for the rest of your life. Well, it shouldn't be tolerated, and the floor should step in. Yes, they shouldn't act that way, but they're going to. It's never going to change. Whether you have a career and you work for a man, you work with all men, you're going to play in a game that's all men, it's going to happen. So if you don't learn how to nip it in the bud or to feel secure about yourself where you can withstand it, then you can't do anything. You can't work, then you can't go out in a social scene, you can't go to a bar, you can't play in a poker game, then you can't do anything if you don't learn how to just stand up for yourself. It's going to hinder you your whole life because men are never going to change. It's always going to be this way. No matter what. Oh, well, we have to teach our sons. Yes, you can teach your sons all you want. There's going to be that stereotype. It's going to happen.
There's going to be the 1 out of the 10 at the table that's going to be the
100%.
jerk, and we're going to see them.
Yep.
But
Or he
there's
drinks
usually
too much
8
and
at
he
the
gets
table.
stupid when he's drunk. You know, it's going to happen. It is.
No,
You
absolutely.
have to learn to defend yourself.
It is
And
a
I
weird
also
realm.
don't understand what's the big need to have all the women in the game. Who cares? Why are they so fixated on we need to get more women in the game? Why? If they don't want to play, who cares?
It's the next boom. 100%. That's the reason we need more women in the game. For me, women in the game is critical because I feel like there's a socialization factor in the game that people, if you're strictly there to make money, it's a different animal, right? But women make it more entertaining. It's.
You think so? I feel
it's
like
a
there's
social
too
dynamic.
many men who don't want them. They don't want them in the game.
No way. Those are the same people. Those are the same like crusty grinders that sit there that get mad when you raise with a bad hand. And you're like, you don't understand. You don't want. That's the same guy that yells at somebody for playing bad. Why would you do that?
That's true.
Stupid.
That's true.
Like,
That's
you're
true.
making it worse.
Right.
The only way to get to me, this is only my humble opinion, to put more females in the game is going to attract more people that are not necessarily pure poker players in the game. That's going to make the game better and more profitable for the actual poker players that understand the game. So
you think they'll see women in the game and say, "Oh, I want to play in that game because there's a woman in it."
Absolutely. If you're walking by a poker room,
but then he's seeing the game for the wrong reason. He's only going to annoy the woman, and then she's not going to play.
No. What I'm saying to you is the guy that's going out, he's in a casino. He's walking through the casino, and he's drinking. He's got a couple of drinks. Now, he's going to the club. He's going to the bar. He's going to sit next to some female at a slot machine. If she's sitting in the poker game, an educated woman that knows how to play in a poker game makes a lot of money a lot of the time. I had a very attractive female talking to us yesterday that she was a professional poker player, did very well in the Borgata poker room. Wasn't like the most optimal of players, but she understood the game. And those guys are being attracted into that game because she's there. You don't want to sit with Daniel Negreanu and Doyle Brunson and Chip Reese. I don't want to sit with them. I want to sit with them once in a while. Say I sat with them, but I want them not at my
Right.
table, and I want a bunch of guys that are there just trying to talk to me to be friendly. To
You're
me,
right. I mean, there is a point where that's okay, and then there's a point where, you know how it goes. Those non-thinking players, you're not making any moves. You're playing straight poker. You either have it or you don't. You're playing against
it
Daniel
could be.
Negreanu and Doyle and them. They're thinking players. They respect your game.
It's
You can
chess
make a little
moves
bit
with
more
them.
moves.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's a different situation. You can make a little more moves. But then again, they might pick you off knowing that Daniel always says that. You know that I know that you know that I know.
But
And
that's
it's
what
true.
it is.
And that can hurt you. But
Yeah, but
they
that's a
respect
different
your
level of
game
play.
more.
I'll take the easy money.
Different
I'm not
level.
going to lie. When I used to play more, I would much rather sit at a table that was outside the club that these guys are stumbling out of and like, I'm all in.
100%.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. And that's
1000%.
only going to be there if you have an entertainment value to the table. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Nobody's stumbling by the table being like, look at these 9 guys that don't look like they've gotten up or showered for 7 hours. They're like,
that's
I
true.
want to sit
You're
next to
right.
them.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's true.
You,
But when they're
like-
drunk and coming in from the club, they're like looking to gamble. And I think TV poker had a lot to do with that. They see it on TV. Oh, I could do this. And they come in stumbling, emptying
'cause-
chips out of their pocket. It's like, yep, seat open.
Yeah,
But I don't know
anybody could win. That's what they have to think. I think
Right. So I don't know
females
if
are
that has to
very
do-
good for the game. Very good for the game.
All right, if you say so. I mean, you're looking at it from a man's perspective, so I have to agree with you then.
Yeah, but from a
you're
female
seeing it from a different view,
from a
Because
bit-
for me, there's no real factor that makes me say I want to play poker tonight because of this, this, and this. I enjoy the game. I love the game. I want to make money. It's has nothing to do with who's sitting there. So I guess from a man's point of view, it might be different. Like you're saying,
no,
they see a woman.
even from like a guy with other guys, I don't like
Mm-hmm.
sitting at a game where everybody's sitting there to be a poker player. I like sitting at a game where we're having a couple drinks.
Right.
and
You don't
we're
want to sit with the
BSing.
grinders. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate grinders. Grinders get so mad at me because this is what I'll do. I'll tell you, like, here's a little tip into my game, right? So if I'm in AC or I'm in Vegas, and I'm there to have fun, I'm not there to make money. I'm not usually there in a poker where this is what I'm going to do. So I'll sit and I'll say, listen, guys, I'm going to let you see any cards you want to see. Even if I make a big raise and you fold, I'll give you a number. You have to tip the dealer that number, and I'll show you my cards. I'll never take the cash from you, but like if it's a big hand and I make you like I go all in and you fold off a hand, I'm like, give the dealer $25. I'll show you my hand right now. The grinders get so mad,
Pissed.
so mad. They're like, you're
Because they don't want to pay
ruining.
it, but they want to see your hand.
I've had guys chip in to see my hands. Like they've chipped in $10 each for 4 guys, and I showed them my hand. But to me, I'm not there to make money over a long course of time, so you're not going to figure out my game in 15 minutes. I don't think.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
and I'm never gonna. It's all situational to me. I'll always play it different, and I like to. I know that I'm a dealer at times. You've been a dealer at times too. You know
Yeah.
that there's some positive thought process going through their head that's saying, please let this guy win. He's like, I'd way rather him because I tip.
100%.
I've been yelled at by grinders. I tip too much, and I'm ruining the game. I'm taking the equity out of the game.
Ruining the game.
That's crazy,
I know,
right?
you don't want to play against those. Those guys,
No,
obviously.
I like.
They're just like,
And you know what? The
Not
bigger
fun.
players aren't like that. They're all about like having a good time, and like money is only
Right.
a tool to those people, for the most
That's true.
part. You know, they're there to
That's
have a
true.
good time. Like, yeah,
right,
over
but those are
time.
the people obviously you look for. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for a social gathering and have fun, yeah, you're going to look for that kind of table. If
Yeah.
you're looking to make money, you're going to scope out the drunk people and the people who don't really know how to play. You're going to look for that as well. So it all depends what you're looking to do that night. Maybe you need some money and you say, oh, I got to pick up some quick cash. You're going to look for the game that you're going to make money in,
Yeah, I want to be
And it
profitable
depends what you're
always.
looking to do for that night. When we play Borgata, all the girls that are on this site right now watching, we play drunk 1-2. We can't play 1-2 any other way but drunk.
I
We're
like
gonna
Drunk
have
1
fun.
2. Drunk 2 is one of my
You can't
favorite
play 1-2
games.
straight. You can't do it
know.
physically. You can't do it.
I know.
So
It's crazy.
we get our own table and you play 1-2 drunk. I mean, it depends what you're out for that night.
I just want to get an invite to the women's Drunk 1 2 table one night. I'm okay.
So fun.
I'll drink.
but
I'll
we've
wear
been
a
told-
dress if I have to. I'm fine
We
with
get
that.
told by the floor to shh too many times.
Oh, you want to hear a sick story? I was just in the Borgata when that gentleman actually they said contracted it. I was there, and I'm boisterous. Like, I'm not negative. I don't curse. Like, it's all good, like, boisterous. I'm like, oh, how you doing? How's everything going?
Right,
The floor
fine.
came over and said, sir, we're going to have to ask you to quiet down. I was like, what am I doing right now? And he was such a nasty, like, my players will remember this. Yeah, so the tall, he must have been
You
I
had
want
both.
to say Russian or like Ukrainian, something like that. So now he
No,
comes
maybe
over.
not.
So I shushed a little bit, but then people are bringing me drinks. We're having a good time with cheersing. It's a bar league tournament. It's not even like a pure poker tournament. And he came over again. I'm like, all right, I'm all in. I'm leaving. I went to go gamble. We went to another spot. It's so crazy.
Really?
We
Yeah,
have a
because
lot
they
of
made it
questions
unfun.
hitting you. I want to ask you some of it. We had a woman in my
Right.
home. This is from Ronald. We had a woman in my home game. She felt like she had too much to prove as a woman. She acted like our drunk game was the WSOP, so we kicked her out. Is he talking about you, Marguerite? Who is that woman? And
Not me.
Lisa Pickle said, "Woohoo, drunk one too." A lot of
Yeah.
a lot of men are intimidated when women are better than them. No, you know what? When anybody's better than you, I think they get intimidated. But I agree. Maybe they get a little more frustrated.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's a game. You know you're going to lose sometimes. I
Oh,
mean,
here's a good question. Good job, Ron. He said, "How do you feel about trans poker players? What's your thoughts on that? About a trans poker player?"
um, I could care less.
I could care less
I
too.
couldn't care less,
What,
rather. I couldn't care less. I don't care what you are or who you are. Your money's green. That's all that matters.
what do you feel about a trans poker player playing in a women's event?
Could care less. I couldn't care any less. She wants
Doesn't
to
matter.
play. He wants to play. Whatever.
There's no.
Actually, we did play with one. My friend Darlene will tell you. Her name was Rosa. She used to play all the time from Foxwoods, and then she started coming to Borgata. But we started talking to her, and I'm very curious by nature. My friends will tell you that I have a lot of questions, and I do say things, and I don't know that I'm not allowed to say them or it's rude to ask because I'm just generally just very curious. So we started talking one day, and she was beautiful. I mean, structured face, a chin, jawline, dimple in the chin. As a man, he was probably super handsome. And I said to him, you must have had all the girls in high school. He said, absolutely. He said, I played rugby and I had any girl I wanted. He had piercing blue eyes, dimpled chin, chiseled. He was like a beautiful man. And he said, she said when he was a man, he had all the women he wanted. But as a woman now, she said she has the best of both worlds because she had breast implants put in, but she didn't have the surgery on the bottom half.
Oh wow.
So she said she loves the way she is right now because she has the best of both worlds. She gets men and women. But I could tell
Very
she's
interesting
muscular.
equation.
She had muscles. Like it just, I don't know if it's good or bad to say, but she looked like just a man dressed up as a woman, makeup on, but her face didn't change. She just looked so handsome, like very masculine and
Striking.
handsome.
She was a striking female.
And then I go in the women's room and he's right behind, she's right behind me. I'm like, yeah, like, okay.
God bless.
But it's hard for
Why
me
is
to
she
understand.
standing?
I have difficulty with that because I think it's so sad that growing up, you're not happy with yourself all those years until you can change your gender. And I feel bad for people like that. Like you couldn't make it work with what you had. I feel sad. So if you want to play in a poker game that's made for women and it makes you feel better, knock yourself out.
What about baseball? What about if it was a track competing player? I feel like
Well,
that's
difficult.
a different question.
That's difficult because you're talking about physical strength. And I think a woman cannot compete with a man when it comes to physical strength. You can't. I'm sorry. I'll never be as strong as a man. I can work out till I'm dead. I feel like your body is made differently and you're not going to compete in the same way. Men and women are built differently. They're made differently. It's not going to happen. You have different DNA. You're made up in a different way. I don't feel it's the same when it comes to a sporting event, wrestling and football. I think a woman is not as strong physically as a man.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's just
I don't know. I mean, you're going to have your exceptions. Don't get me wrong. There are probably
physiology. That's physiology.
Right. But on the whole, on the general, I don't believe that you can compete with a man when it comes to anything that requires strength.
Yeah, it's a different animal. Definitely is a different.
Different.
Animal. So,
Different.
What have you been eating since you've been on quarantine? Have you been going out and getting stuff? Or you?
Everything that's not nailed down, you name it, I eat it. But I have to say, I'm eating an orange every single day. I've never eaten oranges.
Vitamin
I take
C.
1,000 milligrams of vitamin C in the morning.
Me
when I
too.
Get up. And I eat an orange every day. And I haven't left my house. That's how paranoid I am. I still eat an orange every single day when I get up. Yep.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm all about that. I think that's a positive thing, 100%.
Yeah. And somebody, one of my cousins told me that the Peep Factory stopped making Peeps because of the virus. So I stacked up on a couple of.
Really, you're a big Peeps fan? I think that's the most intriguing part of this interview.
Oh my God. I have 12 boxes right now in that bag right over there. And my friend Dorothy bought me 2 boxes and left them on my front stoop. Yeah.
Wow. So now we know the way
Yeah,
to the
I'm a
heart
peep
is
freak.
Peeps.
I'm a peep freak.
A peep freak.
I'm a peep freak. Oh, love
I
it.
love it. I do appreciate
So
you.
that's
I
it.
thank you so much for
Eating
coming out
everything.
with me tonight. You have been a
Thank you.
lot of fun.
Anytime.
We're definitely going to do this again. I promise we're going to do this again. And
I'm in. So
I'm
fun.
I'm definitely getting you on those COVID positive talks as well. I feel like that's someplace you need to be. You have
Yes.
nothing but good things. Do
Entertaining, and he's a lot of fun from Staten Island. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do something to get on that show because I'm telling you,
yes,
I'm gonna
I even
apply.
said it on the promo.
I'm gonna
Anyone who's
start.
into poker, if you've done something great in the poker world from Staten Island, I want to hear from you. And you have your own league, so we should
Let's
definitely be
do it. Let's
on
do
the
it.
show promoting that for sure.
I'm all about positivity. I just love that you're about it. I am all about that, and I love everything that's
I
going
am.
on. Make sure you get a grandma's to share. Grandma's to share. I got to get all these links up everywhere.
I have
Check
a
it
lot of
out.
links.
Even if your grandma is around or you have a pregnant daughter, let's get one of those and record something for it. I know she's out of inventory right now, and if anybody wants to get
Yeah.
on it and start making,
I have about 4 of these left, but I have a lot of Latino dolls. I have the African American dolls also, but for my nanas, my gray-haired nanas, which are super popular, I have about 4 left.
oh man, so we got to hit all the markets, all of them.
That's it,
I'm with it. I'm with trying to help you get it out
for
there.
sure.
Thank you guys. Great interview, Bernie said. Lisa Pickle, awesome job. Thank you all for coming out today with us. We love
Thanks
you
for
all.
watching, guys. Thank you for having me, Tom. You're great.
Thank you. You are great. You are great. And thank you for doing good for
Awesome.
everything. I'm looking forward to doing more with
I'm
you
trying.
and seeing you more virtually until we can see each other for real. Thanks
Let's
again.
do it. I'm ready.
All
All
right.
righty.
Thank you,
Take care,
guys.
guys. Be
Signing
safe.
out. You have any final words, Marguerite, before I sign us out?
Yes. Stay COVID safe.
Stay
Find the
safe.
COVID silver lining.
That's
Find
it.
it and post it and send it to Good News Staten Island. I want to hear all the good things you're doing.
I agree.
Positive.
Tag me too. At Tom Vanis and trending
Yes.
Good News Staten Island. Find the good news
Yes.
silver lining.
Hashtag Good News Staten Island. We'll see it. And I want to know all the good things, ideas, stuff to do while you're going crazy in the house. I want to know all of it.
Love it. I'm going to be a super active member in that group. All right,
Perfect.
guys. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Love you all. We will see everybody shortly. Thank you, Marguerite. Have a great one.
All righty. Take care. Bye, guys.
Perfect job.